Hello YouTube, claudemods or Aaron, which is my real name, with another video for you. It's been a bit of a while since I've done any updates on YouTube. That's because I've been hard at work and just looking for the next best thing going forward. And really and truly, that has been my system application. I've had a few issues trying to keep it condemned and small, and Python really wasn't the way going forward for me. Too much space was being used just to get my application to work. So I'm now changing the language that I use. I'm not going to be using Python anymore. I've recently learnt C++. I've been learning Rust, C++, QML, Bash, Python, you name it. I've code hopped, and I just find that C++ is good going forward for myself. I find it can be relatively hard, but the outcome of the finished product is so much better, I find, with using C++ than using Python itself. And of course we don't need all of these hefty modules to run my files anymore. So if you've got qt6 installed, you can compile my application, or you can run my application. I'm hoping to get it as an app image. I have actually been making app images as well, and that was just yesterday. I've got some working app images, but they were Python based, so no good for being universal. I want to make a qt6 version of my application, and also maybe a GTK version, because I do need to make a browser for my terminal, which is what I'm just about to showcase. So I'm not really going to be showcasing my distribution in a virtual machine today. So there is some new ISOs that have been published, and until I get my new system app up to date and up to scratch, there won't be any updates until I've got the main app finished, and then I'm gonna update that into an ISO and put out my ISO. Of course, I've made a KDE Neon testing ISO because I have means to make a KDE Neon ISO. A good friend of mine has gave me a PC to fix. I don't know if he wants it back or not, but I managed to get KDE Neon working on there. The plan is to give it a good game and just see if I can game off of it. It should run some sort of games. It's got an APU, which might bottleneck the fact that I'm using a CPU at the same, a GPU at the same time. You can't really turn that off in Linux, although you can on Windows. But I've got an NVIDIA card there that should run some sort of games on it that I'm going to be testing. But basically the video today is to be showcasing my first ever C++ application, which is a terminal, and I think I've done pretty well. I've done the best part of 24 hours. I'm going to play my favourite song for today and showcase how to get the application to run. Also, sorry, if you come to the Play Store, which I'm making most of my applications on at the moment, you can actually download this. So we go to the Play Store and we go to my Play Store. Actually went on here. He's going to ask me for my password. I don't mind. I'll just type this in quickly. I don't know why this is a German store, I believe. I don't know why it does this. It's got all these different stores under different names, all linked to different servers. No, we don't want to save the password, and no, you are not getting my password. I've typed it in enough times to know what it is. I could do it like that. I'm pretty fast with my typing sometimes anyway. Anyway, so we're back here, we go to the profile, and I just spoke to the people that run this website, and I don't know what it is, maybe someone can correct me here, but I've put this here in the About Me section, where if I actually log out and go to my profile, there is no About Me section when I come to here. Or if I go to my main claudemods account, I can't find anything. So I messaged them to find out what is the need for that box. But this is what I've just updated to C++. We've got a short picture here and some of the files that are used. And you can download it, which the file used to be about 500 megabytes, which is a prime example of why not to use Python. And now if you look at it, it's just a short little 1 megabyte. If that, it's a 0.1 of a megabyte. So we've got all these different applications and menus and widgets that I make. And since learning C++, maybe C++ is the way going forward for some of these, if not most of these. It's just easier to do a lot of the things that I were doing. Okay, I'm going to have a lot more files, but like I said, the finishing product really is going to be a lot more tuned for the language of qt6. If you want to go qt6, why not go for the best language for it? And I can bloody well say that C++ is really powerful, and it took me a while to get something, but finally getting something I can appreciate the language as a whole. I'm not the best of language. I don't understand the languages as much as I should I say. Most of my work is through a bot, and then editing the files, and I've done this for many months now, but I'm still not professional. I'm learning. So this series is basically just a showcase of my C++ application. I've got 2 favourite songs for today. Hopefully people like these songs. So we're going to go with Humanal Wolf, and then we're going to go for Humanal Crystal, and you can get these off of YouTube if you type in Humanal and you've got his name. Pretty sure in one of these songs. No, if not, it's UMINAL, and then the name of the song, which is either Wolf or Crystal. So we're going to start off by playing my favourite song. I'm going to extract the file, then I'm going to showcase the terminal opening. I'll showcase how to get the files to work, and I'll also showcase how to compile the files, and then I'll showcase how to execute it. It's as easy as just typing in 2 commands into the console. Once you've extracted the file in the directory of all the files, and then it will make the executable, and you just boot the load the executable, which is the application, and it all works perfectly fine. I mean, it's it is basically version 1, but I updated it from version 1 to now C++, and of course my system app is version 2.0, so now 2.0.10 is what I'm calling it. So this terminal, which is the base of my system app, is going to be called version 2.0.10, which is an update. Anyway, so I'm making my terminal is going to be my system app. That's the main UI. That's everything that I normally have in my system app is now going to be in this terminal, and I'm somehow going to put all the features into this, and it's not going to be Python anymore, basically. So we're going to go with my favourite song for today and just showcase my application, and then we'll get talking about some of the new things that I have and I did. That you want to load, and then we've got ourselves a console. here we go, you know. I can be lazy at times. I like to research and settle down and relax and take a break from what I do, which is what you're looking now at on the screen. But I'm always about evolving, so if it means that I scrap the UI tomorrow to make it look better, more efficient, then I'll do that. If I have to change from Python to C++, I'll do that. I'm not going to stick with what I got just because I like what I got. I'm all about evolving, so if the next best thing comes around the corner and it helps my application, it's a modification, I'm going to use it. You know, if it's faster, if it's easier, you know, if of course if there is things that I will stop myself from using that thing, whether if it's a security risk or it just isn't efficient. I've got my own reasons. Then of course I won't use it. But more of the time, if there's something out there and it's going to evolve the things that I'm doing, of course I'm going to evolve what I'm doing by using that thing. I'm all about the next best thing. I'm a modifier. I modify things. I make game mods. I used to play game mods before I made game mods. What inspired me to. I used to listen to music before I started making music. That's what inspired me to make music. I do a lot of the things from listening to other people's stuff to then making my own. You know, I didn't have to watch a tutorial to make game mods, and I didn't have to watch a tutorial to do music. In fact, I actually learned how to make basic music whilst at school. I was in a special needs school at the time. When I was younger, and that's where I learnt to make basic music. Then get into it as a hobby whilst at home. That's when I started getting into it more, and I started making donk and drum and bass and jungle. I actually love my jungle and my drum and bass. I'm not so much into the donk, although I did sit there and actually make a song. It took me the best part of maybe 4 days, and it was really good. It was about 1.5 minutes worth of donk. It was really good for what I could do at the time. I was into jungle, so that was what I was mainly doing, and I was doing my little skits. And well, I don't really do vocal music or rap or anything like that. I've always been about my drum and bass, and I have got music online which I'm not going to be posting. But yeah, the main thing is I like to evolve. I'm always about the next best thing. If I can make something better, I'm going to make it better. I mean, my whole desktop environment is meant to be based on modifications and making it easier for people to use. It's meant to be similar to Windows in a way. I'm not calling it Windows. It's just got the functionality of things that, you know, Windows did have as a whole. You got my menu, which I forked off for someone else. It's just similar to the Windows 11 start menu. You got this, which is similar to like the Microsoft minimize. I think I still use Windows as a whole. It's just not something I use a lot anymore. I am gradually losing features that I normally know about Windows because I use Linux and Windows. I'm not against Windows. Well, I am in a way because of some of the features that, you know, they're coming up with, and Windows has its own cons. It has its own pros, it has its own cons. I'm not going to get into why what is better. Let's not get into that conversation. At the end of the day, each operating system has its own pros and cons. They're good for certain things. So that I've constantly got Windows. I spoke about my hard drive breaking in the past. Let's get back to basics. My hard drive actually didn't break. What happened was my power supply gave way on my computer. It was on its way out. I had a 2600X. It's a pretty powerful CPU, which I still have there. Put it back in the shop. They said it was all fine, so I basically kept it. And I'm yet to rebuild that system back up. But I'm using the same arch and everything that I had on the hard drive on this system here, which was the one that was all smashed up. So the one that broke was my PC. It was my brand new PC, AMD 4. This is an Intel. So we are running Arch, and I'm running the 2.0.6, and there's no issues with running over my 2.0.6 or 7 or 8 or 9. I mean, they all run the same. It's just got different system apps. I've only been editing on this main version because I know there's no reason to update. I've been updating the packages through the console like normal anyway. I mean, there's no point really updating. You could probably give it about a month and it won't crash. I didn't update my development version for about a month. But basically, I've got Windows on here, and if I need to go on Windows for my own reasons of maybe getting a game before I install it and then run it through bottles, because some applications, some games have to be installed that way, then I would do it that way, and that's the need for Windows. I don't run Windows directly in my PC. It's just one of them things that I'll plug in. It's a plug and play sort of thing. Really and truly, I don't want to be using Windows. That's why I created my Linux distribution, and I forever will be on my Linux distribution every single day. It's just so much easier. I've got all these new applications. I've made my DNS changer manager. I've made my widgets that I've just made the other day. I've got all these funny things that I'm trying in the background as well as my distribution. I want to get my distribution as a whole stable, so the things that I have made are all in the distribution, and then going forward we just update, you know, because at the moment my distribution has been all over the place, just down to this system app. Everything works as a whole, the UI and everything is how it needs to be, really. I like the logo loading in as Arch now. I don't really want to be playing about with too much like I did in the past, so I'm going to be keeping the logo when it loads in as Arch, the Plymouth should I say. And yeah, I just really want to keep my artwork relatively, you know, out of the way. Like I like my desktop background, I like my account name, I like my account logo, but I don't want too much, you know, oh, this is Torpedo. Apart from when you boot in, it's going to say Torpedo. When you log in, it's going to say Torpedo. It'll say the account name when you go in here. And really, literally, that's about where I want to stay. You know, it's Arch KDE, and it's going to boot up the Arch, and there will be a K. Well, I've changed this now, so I'm pretty sure that logo is going to be going to this logo now in the new release, which I'm releasing soon. I haven't actually made the ISO. We're going to go now. I'm going to showcase, I think I might as well showcase my new KDE and ISO. I've got it actually installed in a virtual machine. So I'm going to play my next favourite song for today. We've got, so I haven't really been doing much on this hard drive. Everything's saved onto my USB. Sorry for the named file there. I mean, I'll just name some of my stuff some weird names because I'll be at it for hours. I mean 24 hours. I'm not organised with the work that I've been doing recently. Although now that I've finally found my language of choice, I can finally do what I want to do, which is get my system app as a whole. Where I keep making system apps and system app versions, I had problems with old files. I had to basically remake the whole system app again, and then I'd have to remake a certain function for the system app because I was missing a file for that function. So it's like, oh, I need to keep these files in one folder safe. So if I ever want to compile the C++ or edit the C++ or edit the Python, which I really don't want to be moving forward with Python anymore, then I can edit it. So C++ is where I want to go forward now. I don't understand the language too well. I'm using a bot, I'll be honest with you, but I can edit files, and you know, if I'm doing it day and night, I'm getting an understanding of what it actually looks like and what to edit and what's wrong, what's missing, how they interact with each other, what files are the main files for certain functions. I really have been doing this now for the best part, I'd say, of nearly 2.5 months, 3 months. And I started on Bash coding. My first ever Bash application was Yad. And then I moved on to qt6, and I moved on from qt6 to qt6. Then it was qt6 QML, and I just hate Python as a whole. It's just, there's a lot of modules and everything else. It's got its own pros and it's got its own cons, but C++, I don't know what it is. Moving forward, this is where I want to be. I'm going to make app images. Like I said, I've already made an app image with Python, but it's not what I want anymore. So we're going to be going C++. And if I'm still building my app right now, so it might take me the best part of, God knows, I don't know. I'm taking time off and I'm doing it slowly but surely. I've got the main base terminal, which is now just a plain terminal for people to download if they want to use the terminal. and then I'm going to build my system app, which is going to have all the buttons. It's going to have a new Paint GUI button. If you know about Paint GUI, it's for making ISOs. It's the software that I use is called Penguin Eggs. They've actually made a GUI version for the commands that you would normally use in a terminal for Penguin's Eggs. So I'm going to implement that into my system tool. My backup tool uses Penguin's Eggs, so that's going to be there as well. You've got the updater, you've got the DNS manager, you've got the GPU drivers, you've got the app image converter to the local application menu. So when you basically, I don't think I've got the application here installed. Let's have a look. So if you come to custom scripts and you go to app image converter, you can select an app image. This don't currently function in this version of the app, which is why I need to rebuild it to work properly as in the new app basically. But you can select an app image if you did download my app image converter, or run the script from the op file, which is where my files are normally are. If you run the app image itself, it will work perfectly fine. So if we come here and we go to mod scripts and we go to Python, we've got the app image converter here. If you actually run this in the terminal, select it. Okay, maybe we've got a problem. No native file dialog. Basically, obviously, I'm having a few issues with Python, which is why I'm moving away from Python. But my files online, you can download the app image converter, and you can download all my other tools, and they all work individually. My main system app is what's going to have them all in it, and then that's my plan to put it into one. So it will have it all into it. Now I'm going to play my second favourite song for today. I'm going to load a virtual machine with my new KD Neon, which is still in beta. It's 2.0.b. I didn't want to use my old KD Neon ISO, just change the name and then update it. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to build it from scratch, which probably wasn't the best way going forward. I could have just downloaded my old one and fix some of the stuff. But we're now talking about C++ qt6. So that test ISO of KD Neon, which is in the testing ISOs, is now going to have the C++ application in. So that being in the testing ISOs makes sense, because now we're going to completely change everything. And people are going to be like, whoa, if that was released, then you'd think, whoa, this is a complete big change. And it's like going from one version to another, from version 2 to version 3, when it really isn't even been released yet. It's still beta. So I know everything works because I've tested it. I'm using it now on my mate's computer. He just gave it to me. So I've got it here with KD Neon, and the plan is to get a game running on it. Just currently building on Arch. So obviously KD Neon is KD Neon and Arch is Arch. I'm using Arch at the moment, although my system does run on KD Neon. It's just different commands, different files, different setups. So Arch will not run on that computer because it's too new. And KD Neon will run on it, which is perfect because this runs KD Neon and Arch, and they're practically the same in my eyes. KD Neon's set up for gamers, and that's what I use for a relatively long time. But yeah, let's showcase KD Neon anyway and play my second song for today. So we go back to Ventoy. We've got a lot of apps on here. We've got some. We're going to play it. Let's go. Got a lot to talk about, I guess, today in my video where I haven't done much. Let's go. an average day, just living his life, having a fag in his living room, or showcasing the software that he creates. With a Samsung S24. I went for the purple one. It's a bugger to get. I went for the S24 Ultra in purple. It's a good phone, really good phone. But I don't know about the colour, and there's not really much being changed. We've got problems with my start menu working in virtual machines. I posted that on my start menu when you go to download it, so we've got to do this to get it to work. Virtual machines. But practically everything in my KD Neon has been installed. Everything is here. I don't see any issues with it working in a virtual machine. Of course there's going to be some updates where I haven't done much to it apart from upload a testing ISO. So this is the problem we've got. This is in the virtual machine because I was testing my qt6 application, and of course that file won't be in the actual ISO. The issue we've got here is that my system app at the moment is sitting around about 2 GB. That's a lie. I know that this is sitting around 2 GB. That one file there is nearly 2 GB. That's a lie. That one file there is nearly... Well, we were sitting around about 2 GB, and now we're looking at online on the Play Store about 1 MB. So I'm happy with moving forward with C++. It's a pain to get going. We've now got more files just for one application, and I make applications by the dozen. I mean, all of my applications form one application, which is my system app. Most functions in that are different applications. So now to put all of that together is going to be a pain, but at the end of the day, I'm happy moving forward. It's going to be so lightweight. I don't care if we've got dozens of files. We can improve the script now to work perfectly fine. I hope you've enjoyed the video for today anyway. I've got a fag in my hand, and like I said just now whilst that music was playing, you're listening to a developer who's at home, sits here and does this as a hobby for fun, you know, and I'm basically showcasing the software that I've created in my spare time whilst smoking fags and, you know, just living my life, listening to music, watching a load of videos on my phone that I was just showcasing. We all live and learn ourselves, you know, and the internet there is there for a reason. I didn't understand Bash last year. Now we're sitting here and we're both talking about a C++ application, and I couldn't even understand it 24 hours ago, and I've got a whole application now that does all the functions that I need. It really isn't hard to understand, and I would recommend people to start learning Bash and then learn Python and then learn C++, because that's where I've just worked my way from. To understand it a little bit, you're going to need to keep making basic applications and then make more and more and more and more, and you'll get to certain things and understand a lot of things, and you'll hopefully start making custom mods like I've got with these service menus and whatnot. This service menu did just get updated, funny enough, so there is a new update for this service menu that's not in this ISO. So the update was that you can now wipe partitions with gparted, and the update clear cache script now has green text, which is what I want to do in my terminal as well. I did have dark green text in my terminal whilst I was building it. It's just hit or miss with this bot that I'm using, so it starts removing some of the stuff that I did put in there, but I finally got a stable base, so I'm happy with what I got, which is why I uploaded it. Moving forward now, I'm going to be creating my system app and turning it into an app image. Hopefully I can get it into one file. If not, we'll keep it as C++ with the executables, but the main terminal and everything else I'm going to start making into app images for everyone else to download as individual applications, or you can download my C++ as it is, but the app images are going to be running off of C++ anyway, if you understand what I mean, hopefully anyway. If I'm correct, that's what I should be doing next. And I don't need to go on Google to research that, because you know, I'm building these day and night. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, and that is a bye from me now, Aaron, and I will try and keep you updated as much as I can. There's a lot of work that I'm doing. You know, I'm not changing my job title. My job title, I haven't got a job. This is a hobby. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis every single day of the week. Nothing changes with me. I'm a game modder. I'm a music maker. I'm a developer. I'm a modder. I'm part of the modding community, and that will never change. That's why my name is claudemods online. I'm part of the modding community. I don't need to be classed as a developer. I don't need to be classed as a distribution owner or game mod creator or music maker. I'm just part of the modding community, and I've always, for the last 7 years, been part of the modding community. So, you know, I'm not changing my job title. I did just show you my phone, although it is on silent. I'm having a fag, you know, this is me, and I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm not going to be changing my job title. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis as a hobby. I haven't got a job. So, yeah, I hope you've already enjoyed the video, and that is a bye from me, claudemods.